want you to imagine something with me. Picture this. 1 month from today. Who are you? Are you the same person you are right now? Or have you become someone new? Someone stronger? Someone more disciplined? Someone more focused? Now let me tell you something important. Most people overestimate what they can do in a year, and they underestimate what they can do in just a month. 30 days. That's all it takes to lay the foundation for an extraordinary life. The question is, will you take this opportunity? Because today, we're diving into the art of personal transformation in 30 days. Not a year, not a decade, but 1 month. A month is a powerful thing. It's long enough to create real, lasting change, but short enough to keep your focus sharp. Let's get started. Let me ask you something important. What do you really want? I don't mean what you think you should want, or what society tells you to want. I mean deep down in your heart. What is it that you truly desire? Too many people go through life without ever asking themselves that question. They chase after things that don't matter. They spend their time on things that won't bring them joy or fulfillment. And in the end, they're left wondering why they feel unfulfilled. They work hard, they hustle, they strive for success, but they haven't taken the time to figure out what success really means to them. But here's the truth. Success is predictable. It's not magic, it's not luck. It's a result of clarity, focus, and discipline. You have to know what you want before you can begin to build the life you've always dreamed of. Now, this is where most people go wrong. They set goals, yes, but they're not specific. They say things like, I want to be happy, or I want to be rich. And those goals are fine, but they're too vague. Vague goals lead to vague results. Here's what I want you to do. I want you to be specific. I want you to take a moment right now and define your goal for the next 30 days. What do you want to accomplish in the next month? If you want to get in better shape, say, I will exercise for 30 minutes a day, 5 days a week. If you want to improve your finances, say, I will save $500 this month by cutting unnecessary expenses. If you want to learn a new skill, say, I will dedicate 1 hour every day to learning that skill. Get clear. Let me tell you a story about a man I met many years ago. He came up to me after a seminar and said, Jim, I've been working hard for years, but I don't feel like I'm getting anywhere. I'm tired. I've got big dreams, but I just don't know how to make them happen. I asked him, what exactly do you want? And he gave me a vague answer. I just want to be successful, you know? I smiled and said, you have to be more specific. If you don't know where you're going, how can you ever expect to get there? And here's the thing. You cannot hit a target you can't see. You have to get crystal clear on what it is you want. The moment you define that, the world begins to change. Your mind starts working for you. Your energy becomes focused, and every decision you make aligns with that goal. But clarity isn't just about knowing what you want. It's about knowing why you want it. That's the next piece of the puzzle. Why do you want to achieve this goal? What's driving you? Your why is your fuel. It's what will keep you going when things get tough, when you're tired, when you want to quit. It's what will push you to show up every day, even when the path is hard. The right why is the fire that's strong enough to keep you going. It's what will push you to show up every day, even when the path is hard. Now take a moment to write down your why. Is it for your family? To give them a better life? Is it for your own growth? To become the person you've always dreamed of being? Is it to prove to yourself that you can do something extraordinary? Whatever it is, make it personal. Make it meaningful. Because when your why is powerful enough, no obstacle will stand in your way. When you have clarity about what you want and why you want it, the universe starts to align itself. Opportunities begin to appear that you never noticed before. The people you need to meet, the resources you need to find, they all seem to show up when you know what you're looking for. This is the power of clarity. But remember, clarity alone isn't enough. You need to take action. You need to decide that every day for the next 30 days, you are going to show up, no matter what, and work toward that goal. Let me share one more thing with you. Success is not an event. It's a process. It's the sum of the small, consistent actions you take every single day. And that process starts with clarity. So what do you want? Define it now. And make sure you know exactly why it's worth pursuing. Because when you have that clarity, everything else will fall into place. Let me ask you something. What does your day look like? Take a moment to think about it. What do you do from the moment you wake up until the moment you go to sleep? Because here's the truth. Your habits are the blueprint for your future. You see, discipline isn't just about doing the big things. It's about mastering the small, everyday actions that move you closer to your goals. Discipline is about consistency. It's not about being perfect every day. It's about showing up, even when you don't feel like it. You've probably heard the saying, success is the sum of small efforts, repeated day in and day out. And that's absolutely true. But the key to success is not in doing everything every day. It's about doing the right things, consistently, without fail. Let me tell you a story. There was a man I met years ago. He wasn't particularly special, not in terms of education or background, but he had one thing that set him apart from most people: discipline. He woke up every morning at 5 a.m., without fail, no matter what. While others were still in bed, he was already out there, taking action toward his goals. You see, discipline is like a muscle. The more you use it, the stronger it gets. The more consistent you are, the easier it becomes to stay disciplined. This man I'm talking about didn't achieve success because he had more talent or better resources. He achieved success because he knew that discipline is the key to building the life you want. He committed to his daily habits, no excuses, no shortcuts. Now let me share a simple formula with you that will change the way you think about discipline. It's called the 1% rule. If you improve just 1% every day, that doesn't sound like much, right? But here's the catch. That 1% adds up. Over time, it compounds. If you improve just 1% each day for 1 year, you'll be 37 times better by the end of the year. You see, small, consistent actions lead to extraordinary results. Most people don't understand this. They think they need to make massive changes overnight. But that's not how life works. Success is the result of consistent, incremental improvements. Let me give you an example. Imagine you want to get in better shape. You don't need to run a marathon tomorrow, and you don't need to lift 100 pounds on your first day. What you need to do is commit to a small, manageable habit. 20 minutes of exercise each day. Just 20 minutes. Do that every single day for the next 30 days. And at the end of the month, you'll have transformed your body. You might not be a bodybuilder, but you'll be in better shape than when you started, and that's the power of consistency. And it's the same with every area of your life. If you want to improve your finances, commit to saving a small amount each day. If you want to develop a new skill, dedicate just 15 minutes a day to it. These small actions may not seem like much in the moment, but over time, they create momentum. And that momentum will carry you to places you never thought possible. But here's the catch. Discipline is not easy. It's not supposed to be. If it were easy, everyone would be successful. But the people who make it are the ones who are willing to do what others won't. They're the ones who get up early when everyone else sleeps in. They're the ones who do the work, even when they don't feel like it. They're the ones who stick with it, day in and day out, no matter how hard it gets. Let me share a powerful thought with you. The pain of discipline is nothing compared to the pain of regret. You see, there's a certain level of discomfort in doing the hard things. Waking up early, working when others are resting, staying focused when distractions are all around you. But let me tell you, That discomfort is temporary. It doesn't last. What lasts is the pride you feel when you look back and realize you did what others wouldn't. What lasts is the feeling of accomplishment, knowing that you kept your word to yourself. Now let's get practical. Here's what I want you to do. For the next 30 days, I want you to commit to one small habit. Just one that will move you closer to your goal. It could be as simple as writing down your goals each morning, making your bed every day, or drinking more water. The key is to make it small enough that it's easy to do, but powerful enough to keep you moving forward. Discipline is not about doing everything perfectly. It's about doing what you say you'll do, day in and day out. It's about building a rhythm, a routine, and then sticking to it, even when the novelty fades. Because when you build this habit, it will start to snowball. You'll look back after 30 days and you'll be amazed at how much you've accomplished. So I ask you, are you willing to commit? Are you ready to build the discipline that will change your life? Because in the end, discipline is what separates those who dream from those who achieve. It's the key to success. And it's something you can build one day at a time. Let's talk about something crucial for your success. Something that many people overlook, yet it's the one thing that everyone has in common: time. You can't buy more of it. You can't borrow it. Once it's gone, it's gone. Time is your most valuable resource, and how you manage it will determine the quality of your life. I want you to picture something with me. Imagine you had an extra hour every day. What would you do with it? Would you waste it on distractions? Would you spend it doing something that doesn't move you closer to your goals? Or would you use that extra hour to work on yourself, to improve, to build the life you've always wanted? Here's the truth. Everyone gets the same 24 hours in a day. That's the great equalizer. Some people use those 24 hours wisely, and others waste them. The difference is in how you manage your time. And the people who manage their time effectively are the ones who succeed. I'll never forget the time I asked one of my mentors, "How do you manage your time so well? You seem to accomplish so much." He looked at me, smiled, and said, "It's not about finding time, Jim. It's about making time for the things that matter most." You see, the key to mastering your time is not about trying to fit everything into your day. It's about being intentional with how you spend your time. Time management is about priorities. It's about deciding what's most important to you and then dedicating the time necessary to make those things happen. Let's break this down. In order to manage your time effectively, you need to first identify your priorities. What's truly important to you? What are the goals that will move you toward the life you want? You might say, "Jim, I have so many things to do. I can't possibly focus on just one thing." But here's the truth. You don't need to do everything at once. You don't need to be everywhere. You need to do the most important things first. People will value your efforts if they see them first. Take a moment to look at your calendar. What are you spending your time on? Is it aligned with your goals? Are you spending hours scrolling through social media, watching TV, or procrastinating on tasks that matter? If you want to change your life, you need to change how you use your time. One of the most powerful tools I use is called the 80-20 rule, or the Pareto principle. It says that 80% of your results come from just 20% of your efforts. This means that there are certain tasks that, if done well, will give you the majority of your results. Your job is to identify that 20% and focus on it. Everything else is a distraction. For example, if your goal is to improve your health, the 20% that will make the biggest impact might be your daily exercise and your nutrition. If your goal is financial success, the 20% could be mastering your budgeting and investing. Don't get caught up in busy work. Instead, focus on the tasks that truly move you forward. And here's another important principle. You must schedule your time. It's not enough to say, "I'll work on my goals when I have time." That's the easiest way to let life's distractions take over. You need to schedule time for the things that matter. If you want to exercise every day, Schedule it like you would a business meeting. If you want to work on your side hustle, put it on your calendar and treat it like a priority. Time management isn't about being rigid or perfectionistic. It's about being flexible while maintaining a focus on your goals. Life happens, things come up, but the key is to always come back to your priorities. Always get back on track. You might miss a day or two, but that doesn't mean you give up. You adjust and you keep going. Let me tell you a story. I once worked with a man who wanted to build a successful business. He had the vision, the desire, and the ideas, but he didn't manage his time well. He would spend hours working on small, unimportant tasks that didn't move him closer to his goal. He'd get sidetracked by emails, meetings that weren't necessary, and other distractions. But he lost sight of what was more important: the strategy. I told him, you need to spend your time on the 20% that will give you the most results. Focus on the things that matter. And stop wasting time on things that won't move the needle forward. The risk is too great, and people will see when you're dragging your feet and you're not willing to move the needle forward. He took that advice to heart and began to block out specific time for focused work. He stopped checking emails constantly and stopped attending meetings that didn't contribute to his vision. And guess what? Within 6 months, his business took off. He became a master at using his time wisely, and as a result, his life transformed. Now I want to challenge you. For the next 30 days, I want you to track your time. Every day, write down what you did, how much time you spent on it, and whether it aligned with your goals. At the end of the month, you'll have a clear picture of where your time is going, and you'll be able to make better decisions about how to spend your time moving forward. Time is the one thing you can never get back. It's a finite resource, and how you manage your time today will shape your tomorrow. So let me ask you again, what are you going to do with your time? Will you let it slip away, or will you take control and use it to create the life you truly want? Now that we've talked about discipline, time management, and setting your priorities, let's discuss one of the most powerful principles of success: consistency. You see, success is not a grand event. It's not about having one spectacular day where everything falls into place. Success is about the daily, consistent actions you take that compound over time. It's the small, seemingly insignificant things you do every day that add up to extraordinary results. Let me ask you a question. What do you think separates successful people from unsuccessful people? Is it talent? Is it luck? No, it's consistency. Successful people are simply the ones who do the work. Day after day, even when they don't feel like it. They show up when it's hard, when it's inconvenient, and when it seems like there's no immediate reward. They persist. Take a moment to think about your own life. Do you have a habit that you're trying to develop? Something that will move you closer to your goals? Maybe it's working out, reading more, or writing every day. It could be something as simple as getting up 30 minutes earlier to work on your personal development. These are small, manageable steps that, when done consistently, will lead you to massive success. But here's the catch. Consistency is the hardest part. In the beginning, it feels like you're not making progress. You put in the effort, but the results don't show up right away. You might even question whether it's worth it. But here's what you need to understand. The results are coming. They just take time. I want to share a story with you. Years ago, I began a new exercise routine. I wasn't in the best shape, and the first few weeks were tough. I felt sore. I wasn't seeing big changes in the mirror. But I kept showing up day after day. I didn't let the slow progress discourage me. And one day, about a month later, I looked in the mirror and saw something different. I could see the change. The progress had been there all along, but it was so gradual that I hadn't noticed it until now. So gradual that I hadn't noticed it until now. That's the power of consistency. Consistency doesn't mean perfection. It doesn't mean that you'll always be 100% on track. There will be days when you miss a workout or you slip up on your goals, but the key is to get back on track quickly. It's not about being perfect, it's about being persistent. Small setbacks are inevitable, but they don't define your journey. What matters is that you keep going no matter what. The last question I have for you is, what's the number one thing you tell yourself? In fact, it's the small actions, repeated consistently, that make all the difference. Think about it. If you were to read just 10 pages of a book every day, that would be 3,650 pages in a year. That's the equivalent of reading over 10 books in a year, simply by reading 10 pages every day. The same principle applies to your goals. If you're working on a business, a project, or self-improvement, those small daily actions add up. You don't need to take giant leaps. You just need to keep moving forward, little by little. There's a reason why successful people seem to have a rhythm to their lives. It's because they've built consistency into their routine. They've made the decision to show up, even on the days when they don't feel like it. And that consistency builds momentum. It's like a snowball rolling down a hill. It starts small, but the more you push it, the bigger it gets, until it's an unstoppable force. Let me tell you about another story. There was a young man I met early in my career who wanted to be a writer. He had great ideas, but he struggled with consistency. He'd write for a week, then stop for a month. He'd get discouraged when the results didn't come immediately. I told him, listen, you need to write every day, even if it's just for a few minutes. Don't worry about the length or the quality at first. Just write. And he took that advice to heart, and over the next few months, he wrote every day, no matter how busy he was. And one day, he realized something incredible. He had written a book. It wasn't perfect, but it was a book. And it was the result of consistent effort. The lesson here is clear. Consistency trumps intensity. You don't need to work 12-hour days to see results. You just need to commit to doing the work consistently. Whether it's 30 minutes a day or 2 hours a day, it's the act of showing up consistently that will move you toward your goals. I challenge you to think about your own life. What small actions could you start doing consistently, every day? It could be waking up earlier, practicing gratitude, exercising, or working on a personal project. Pick one thing and commit to it for the next 30 days. Show up, even when it's hard. And at the end of the month, look at the results. Success isn't the result of one big decision. It's the result of the small decisions you make each day. So start today. Start small. Be consistent. And watch how your life transforms. Now that we've discussed discipline, time management, and the importance of consistency, let's move to another essential principle of success. Focus. Focus is a powerful force. It's like a magnifying glass that takes scattered rays of sunlight and concentrates them on one single point. When you focus, you give all your energy, attention, and resources to that one thing. And when you do that consistently, something extraordinary happens. Your results multiply. But let me ask you, how many of you have ever felt overwhelmed by all the things you think you need to do? You've got your job, your relationships, your health, your finances, and your personal goals, all competing for your time and energy. It's easy to feel like you're juggling 100 different things, and none of them get the attention they truly deserve. Let me tell you a secret. You can do everything at once. I know it's tempting to believe you can, especially with the pressure we all face to multitask in today's world. But the truth is, multitasking is a myth. It doesn't work. When you try to do too many things at once, you dilute your energy, and your effectiveness decreases. The key to success is focusing on the one thing that matters most at any given moment. This doesn't mean you ignore everything else, but it means you give full attention to what's most important right now. Whether it's a project at work, a personal goal, or your family, that one thing should have your undivided focus until it's complete. It's like a marathon that starts in the beginning and pays a lot of attention. Let me share a story with you. I once met a very successful entrepreneur who built a multi-million-dollar business from scratch. I asked him, "What's the secret to your success?" He looked at me and said, "Focus. I built my business by focusing on one product at a time. I didn't try to sell everything under the sun. I didn't chase every opportunity that came my way. I focused on one thing, and I did it well. Now you might be thinking, but there are so many opportunities. How do I know which one to choose? That's a good question. And the answer is simple. You must choose. You see, life is full of distractions, shiny objects that will pull you in 1,000 different directions. Every new idea, every new opportunity, every new trend will beg for your attention. But here's what you must realize. Not everything that is urgent is important. Such is the law that I live by. Such is the law that I have set to myself. Such is the rule that I have set for myself. When I first started in my career, I found myself jumping from one idea to the next, always chasing the next big thing. But over time, I realized that I wasn't making real progress. I was scattered. I was unfocused. I needed to pick one thing and give it my full attention. And when I did, that's when things started to change. In fact, the most successful people in the world don't have any more time than you and me. What they have is focus. They know how to eliminate distractions, prioritize what truly matters, and give 100% of their energy to the task at hand. Here's something to think about. What would happen if you eliminated all the distractions in your life for just 1 hour every day? What could you accomplish in that time? What could you focus on that would bring you closer to your goals? Think about it. If you had 1 hour of uninterrupted focus every day, that's 30 hours a month. Imagine what you could achieve if you devoted that hour to something that truly matters, whether it's learning a new skill, working on your business, or even just thinking and planning for the future. The results would be astounding. I want you to picture this. You wake up tomorrow, and instead of checking your phone first thing, you spend the first hour of your day doing something that moves you closer to your goals. No distractions, no emails, no social media. Just pure, focused action. That's the kind of power focus brings. It's the power to block out the noise and concentrate on what matters most. It's the power to achieve more in 1 month than most people do in a year. But how do you develop this kind of focus? It starts by eliminating distractions. You have to guard your time like it's your most valuable asset, because it is. Turn off your phone, close your email, get rid of anything that might pull your attention away. For that hour or that time block, let nothing disturb you. I know it's not easy. Life is filled with distractions, and we live in a world that constantly demands our attention. But if you want to transform your life in the next 30 days, this is one of the most powerful tools you can use. Focus. There's a reason why highly successful people seem to have laser-sharp focus. It's because they've learned to say no to almost everything else. They've made the decision to prioritize what's most important and eliminate the distractions that keep them from their goals. And you can do the same. So today, I challenge you to focus on just one thing, just one. It could be something small, like setting aside time each day to work on your health. Or it could be something big, like finishing a major project you've been putting off. The important thing is to give that one thing your full attention. Start small. But over time, you'll see that the power of focus can transform your life. Remember this: success is the result of concentrated effort applied over time. You'll be amazed at what you can accomplish when you stop dividing your attention and start giving everything you have to the task at hand. Now we've covered discipline, consistency, time management, and focus. But there's one more thing we need to talk about. One thing that can make or break your success: accountability. You see, no matter how much you plan, no matter how focused and disciplined you are, there will be days when you feel like giving up. There will be times when the journey feels too long, the work feels too hard, and the results feel too far away. And in those moments, it's easy to let yourself off the hook. But that's where accountability comes in. You see, no matter how much you plan, no matter how focused and disciplined you are, there will be days when you feel like giving up. There will be times when the journey feels too long, the work feels too hard, and the results feel too far away. And in those moments, it's easy to let yourself off the hook. But that's where accountability comes in. Accountability is what keeps you going when you feel like quitting. It's the safety net that catches you when you fall. It's the push you need when you feel like you can't take another step. Without accountability, all the plans, goals, and intentions in the world won't mean anything. Let me share a story with you. Several years ago, I was working on a big personal goal. I had set out to read a certain number of books in a year, and I was making great progress. Until I hit a wall. Life got busy, distractions crept in, and I found myself falling behind. It would have been easy to just let the goal slide and say, I'll catch up next month. But there was someone who wouldn't let me off the hook. A close friend of mine had made this same goal, and we had agreed to check in with each other every week. We would text, email, or call, sharing our progress, discussing the books we'd read, and holding each other accountable. And you know what? It worked. Even on the days when I didn't feel like reading, knowing that my friend was counting on me to stay on track kept me going. That's the power of accountability. It's the extra layer of motivation you need to push through the hard days. When you know someone else is watching, you tend to rise to the occasion. You don't want to let them down. And in the process, you don't let yourself down either. But here's the thing. Accountability isn't just about having someone else keeping track of your progress. It's about you taking responsibility for your actions and decisions. When you hold yourself accountable, you're taking control of your own success. Otherwise, nothing more than successful habits ever pops up. There's a saying I like to repeat, if it's meant to be, it's up to me. This simple phrase is powerful because it puts the responsibility squarely on your shoulders. If you're waiting for someone else to motivate you, you'll always be waiting. If you're waiting for the perfect moment, the perfect conditions, or the perfect opportunity, you'll be waiting forever. Success doesn't wait. You got to take responsibility for it. That's where personal accountability comes in. It's the decision to commit no matter what. It's the decision to follow through even when the path gets tough. It's about showing up every day, putting in the work, and staying true to your word. No excuses. But here's the truth. Accountability works best when you have a partner, a mentor, or even a coach. This doesn't mean you have to share every little detail of your life, but it means having someone who can ask you the hard questions, who can challenge you when you're slacking off, and who can celebrate your wins with you. Don't forget, they're human too. Give them the same level of accountability. Here's how you can implement accountability in your own life. 1. Find an accountability partner. This could be a friend, a colleague, or a mentor. Someone who will check in with you regularly and ask you about your progress. Someone who will hold you to your word. 2. Set clear goals together. Don't just say, I want to be successful. Be specific. Set measurable goals that you can track and discuss. Whether it's a fitness goal, a financial goal, or a personal development goal, make sure you both know exactly what you're working towards. Number 3, set clear goals for the family. 3, check in regularly. Don't let it be an afterthought. Schedule regular check-ins with your accountability partner. Whether it's weekly, bi-weekly, or monthly, make sure you're staying on track and adjusting your plan when necessary. 4, be honest. This is the most important part of accountability. Be honest with your partner and with yourself. If you're struggling, say so. If you're falling behind, admit it. The only way accountability can work is if you're truthful about where you are and where you need to improve. 5, celebrate the wins. Accountability isn't just about pushing through the tough times. It's also about celebrating the victories. Take time to acknowledge your progress and reward yourself for the hard work you've put in. Now, some people may resist accountability because it means opening themselves up to scrutiny. It can feel uncomfortable to admit when you've fallen short or when you've missed a goal. But let me tell you this, the most successful people in the world are the ones who are willing to be held accountable. They know that accountability isn't just about checking off boxes or meeting deadlines. It's about growing, learning, and improving. It's about becoming the kind of person who doesn't just talk about goals, but actually achieves them. And that requires responsibility. Responsibility to yourself and to those you've made commitments to. So as you start your 30-day transformation, I want you to think about this. Who can you rely on to keep you accountable? Who can you trust to help you stay on track? And who can you become when you take full responsibility for your success? I promise you, when you have accountability on your side, nothing can stop you. You'll stay focused, you'll stay motivated, and you'll keep moving forward, even on the toughest days. As we wrap up, remember this: transformation starts today. You don't need to wait for the perfect moment. The next 30 days can change your life if you commit to the process. Discipline, focus, consistency, and accountability. These are your tools. Now, it's time to put them to work. You have the power to become the best version of yourself, starting right now. So make the decision to take action, stay committed, and embrace the journey. Living your life with the lens of compassion, courage, and fertility is the path of least resistance toward the life that you desire. The next 30 days are yours. Let's make them count. Thank you for joining me today. Let's get started.